Hi, I'm Ron Harding, and this is my video discussion post for the Academic Affairs module. Based on the readings, especially the Task Force 2011 summary from Northern Michigan University and the sites of Georgia Southern, the College of Coastal Georgia where I work, and the University of Georgia, the main functions of academic affairs include not only the oversight of academic instruction and graduate research, but typically institutional research and assessment, student services that are in any way academic in nature, such as tutoring and academic advising, as well as libraries, archives, and other repositories of data. Surprisingly, in both the current reality and the recommendations at NMU, the Dean of Students reports to the Associate Provost of Student Services and Enrollment Management. And so student affairs, right down to housing and residence life, falls into the academic affairs organizational chart. This is not true of two of the institutions I examined, Georgia Southern and CCGA, but it is also true of the third, the University of Georgia. I did my interview this week with the VP for Student Affairs at CCGA, and he reported that at one of the institutions he worked at in the past, this is also true, and one of his titles was Associate Provost. So there are certainly places where student affairs is nested under academic affairs. Finally, budgeting and finance, as they relate to anything academic, also fall under academic affairs, with someone devoted to just those concerns at larger institutions. I picked these three because based on the 2015 Basic Carnegie classifications, UGA is a doctoral university with highest research activity. Southern is a doctoral university with moderate research activity, and CCGA is a college with baccalaureate and associate's levels degrees offered. So these are three very different tiers of institution, and the sheer breadth of academic affairs differs accordingly. I've covered many of the similarities already, but I do want to reemphasize that in all three, institutional effectiveness falls under academic affairs, although only in the smallest institution does the individual in charge report directly to the provost or VPAA. But anything having to do with accreditation, assessment, and the research to support them does fall under academic affairs. As for differences, obviously at the larger institutions there is more specialization. At UGA there is a vice provost reporting to the provost who is responsible for several departments, including a museum, performing arts center, and everything having to do with accreditation. After reading about NMU, I expected that at both doctoral universities there would be someone reporting to the provost in charge of graduate studies or research, but this is true at Southern, but not at UGA, where it appears that all academic activities, graduate and undergraduate, are rolled up under the dean of each college or school. All in all, UGA and Southern are more similar than different. CCJ is the outlier in this group with a much smaller organization. Aside from that, one key difference is that there are now, at CCGA, two assistant VPAAs, Vice Presidents of Academic Affairs, who are faculty members, who still have teaching and advising responsibilities in addition to being administrators. I think this makes the atmosphere at CCGA more collegial than managerial, to reference the Rice article. In general, the institutions I looked at and the task force article indicate that the managerial model of oversight of faculty is definitely on the ascent, maybe has taken over. There are many, many administrators at these institutions, and they in many ways influence the way faculty do their jobs. At each of these institutions, academic affairs oversees strategic planning. Then in turn, deans of colleges are in the reporting chain either directly to the VPAA or provost or through an associate VP or provost. At our institution anyway, deans review faculty, and certainly much of their evaluation is based on alignment with the strategic plan. Is this an appropriate role? Well, personally, I believe it's a necessary one. There isn't any other organization that functions without a fairly high level of managerial control. But I think it's fair to ask if there are too many administrators and if the level of control is too high. I can say, however, that that's not a question that really applies everywhere. At my institution, there are clearly too few administrators to accomplish the work that's required to meet accountability standards. So the complaint that institutions are top-heavy I don't think applies everywhere. So thank you very much for watching my post. I look forward to seeing everyone else's and to your comments.